Okay, if you look closely, you'll see they painted all over this GFI, and the buttons are all stuck. So we're going to take our cover off of this here. You never paint over your light switches and your outlets in your devices, so we have to replace it because the painters ruined it. And we'll unscrew it. And you can see the sloppy job they did hooking this up. All the wires are all taped up and everything's all a mess here. Well, you know what? If you can't find the end of the tape, you just rip it off. That's all. You just tear it off. You just tear it off. That's all. You just tear it off. And they have a wad of tape on the wire here. So we're going to see why that's all taped up. Just let it lay. You don't get upset. You just let it lay. Open our screw up. Pull our wire out of the hole. Well, our white wire broke right off. Take our ground wire off. And you can see all the paint that is in between the buttons there, so they do not move anymore. Okay, so we'll see why they taped up our, let's see if they have any slack in here. They got some slack in the wall here. We'll just see why they taped all this wire up. Well, there was a weak spot in the wire. You can see how it just broke right off. So we're going to take and we're going to separate these wires here, and we're going to fix it up nicer. I'm going to just see if I can pull this. If I can't, I'll have to use my knife and slice it, and hopefully I don't slice the wires. If I do, I do, and I won't get upset. I won't get all frustrated, because it's not going to change anything. We'll just tape it up, and knock it all bent out of shape. It won't be what I want to do, but it'll be what I have to do. So I go in the middle, come down in between the wires, and that's what we want. Like that right there. And we'll clip all the debris off of here. Okay, now we have our wires. Here in the country I was born in, your white wire is neutral, your black is live. Red and blue are also live colors. So we're going to cut them to the same length here. And of course your bare wire or green wire is the ground. We can take a little off of this one. Okay, on the back of the GFI you'll see where it says load and line. Power comes in on the line will go out on the load, and we're not going to be using the load. So we're going to tighten these screws so that they stay out of the way of everything. And your black live wire always goes on the brass screw, or it could be red or blue, and it's the narrow slot. Your white goes on the silver screw, which is the wide slot, or a T slot if it's a 20 amp. And your bare or green wire goes on this green screw. So we're going to strip our wires. And we're going to hold it up to the device and make sure it's not stripped too long or too short. So we can just hold it up like this here. That one's good. And that one's good. I'm going to just make sure that's not too long. Okay, we can just take a smidgen off the white, not a lot, just a tiny smidgen. I want to make sure it's nice and straight. So now we'll put our black line, black power, to the black line terminal. So we have to open up this terminal here. Make sure our copper is up at the top of the pressure plate there. There it is. I see the copper at the top. Now I want to make sure we don't get our insulation pinched. Make sure it's tight. We'll just close our, make sure the one on our load is tight. So here's our black on the brass. You can see just a little copper there. We'll bring it over this way. We'll get our white on the neutral side. These lugs, you can put 2 wires in. You can see the double slot here, and the pressure plate has curved on both sides. Make sure our copper is up at the top here and our insulation is not pinched. And we'll just tighten it up. We'll make sure this one's closed. And now we'll put our ground wire up here on our green screw. Okay, make sure it's nice and tight. Okay, now we can screw this device back into our wall here. I'm going to make sure our plaster ears are going to be big down low enough for our other screw here. And it's not, so I'm going to make a spacer here out of some wire or some washers if I have some washers. Okay, I got some washers about the thickness of the space we need. So I'll put them on the bottom here. And that's just about the right thickness. I'll just snug that by hand so I don't over tighten it. And that screwdriver's too fat. Alrighty, it's all nice and tight now. We can put our cover back on, but we're going to put a nice new cover on here when they do the painting. I'll put this on here for now. And one screw was missing.